Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back again with the CBD Business Accelerator. We got a special day today. So thanks, everybody, for joining us. We'll wait while people start to jump on. But today we're going to talk about the 5 layers of exposure, like the 5 steps to building your business from 0 customers to $1 million in sales and up. And so I'm excited to have Paul Booth with me today. Thanks for joining, Paul.
Nice to be here, mate. I was expecting the man, the myth, the mystery, or whatever it is you come up with. You don't say it anymore.
Oh, yeah, the man, the myth, the legend, Paul Booth. I forgot.
You said I need to record it, like I said, and put it on my YouTube. Yeah, it's going to be here, dude, and share this information because I think we were talking just before this. It's something that me and you did to build our brands and still do with clients and talk about it. You know, it's the baseline of this is great for most brands that haven't got massive budgets. So yeah, it's I'm excited to talk about it and excited to explain it in a more simplified way so people get it. It's yeah, I'm pumped.
Exactly. And you know, me and Paul are both lucky enough to talk to some of the biggest CBD brands all day long. I'm talking to CBD brands, whether they're mom and pop brands or major brands that are doing millions a month in sales. So I get to talk to those brands and get, learn what's working for them, what's not working. So we're going to go through some of those things today. And like Paul said, just starting out from 0, like if you don't have a big budget, and so, we're getting people joining us. So we're just BSing for a second here, but let's jump into it, Paul. So tell us about when you first started, like what was your budget when you started your supplement brand, and how did you go about things? If you can.
Well, if I'm honest, when I first did it, I didn't have a clue about what my budget was. It was effectively, right, okay, I know how to make it for myself. I can make a few pots. And then it turned into friends asking. Then it was like, okay, I'm talking about supplements. It was when I first did it. So it was people said start a brand. So, okay, cool. Went to the manufacturer. I want to order X amount of products because, I'm starting a brand and we've got people interested. And it worked out. They said, okay, $7,000. So that it's £7,000. Let's say $7,000, not to confuse. So yeah, $7,000 we started out. So got a loan out, got the $7,000, and to cut a long story short, did a pre-order before we even had the product in hand. And that pre-order we pulled 12,500. So I had to go back to manufacturer and beg them to make more product so we could actually fulfill, which was a massive stress, which shouldn't have been a stress. I've just done a pre-order of $12,000, right? So, and that was.
Oh, Paul, can you hear me okay? We lost your audio there. It muted. Your mic is muted. There you go.
Sorry, apology, guys. I must have hit my microphone with my wavy hands when I excited. So if you missed that, yeah, we initially it was 7,000, got a loan, and then pre-order. Purely from social media, Twitter actually. We did 12,500 pre-launch order sale.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah, and again, we're going to talk about this more. It was all about just being personable, using my own connections, which there wasn't many. I just come out of the military and I was living in London and no one really knew me. But the guy I went into business with, he knew a few people, and we just reached out to our friends and family and just said to them, and most friends and family will say, "I'll give it to me for free." You're like, dudes, we're starting a new business. Just go and buy it for us, and we'll
support me. Come on.
yeah. When we're making money, we'll pump it back in. So yeah, it was just purely using the people around me to make sales and building hype up. We're going to talk how you do that, but it was just literally building hype. We built a website. I built a brand, but have no clue how to build a brand at the time. I just built it based on thinking I knew who the target market was and having to work. So yeah. That was it. Yeah, 12.5, and then 3 years later, we're doing 7 figures, and then I shut it down. But but ultimately, it was all from organic social traffic.
That's incredible, man. And I think part of it, because I've heard your story a bunch of times, I think part of it is you really knew your audience, man. Like that, it was your passion, and you were inside the head of your customer, like big time. And you knew exactly what they wanted and how to give it to them. And that's how you succeeded. One of the biggest reasons, in my opinion, why you were able to succeed with that, because you knew who your customer was, like inside and out.
Yeah. So see, people can learn something from that. So initially it was like, I'm going to start a supplement brand. So my brain was like most other people's. Okay, who's buying supplements at the moment? So, okay, bodybuilders, fitness gym guys and stuff like that. But then I literally just came to me one evening. I was sat there and I was thinking, target myself. I'm the same. At the time, I was the same as most gym guys. Go into gym, I just want to look better. I want to look better. I want to be less chubby, kind of maybe get a six-pack coming out. And obviously, if you're a dude and you're honest, you go to the gym and look better because you want people to look at you and go, that dude's in shape. So from that, I then knew the audience because it was me. So my negative thoughts, my positive thoughts, the way I woke up in the morning, how I felt, do I take a protein shake? Do I not take a protein shake? Do I use this product? I knew what people were thinking. So I used my military skill from the interrogation stuff that I learned. And I basically interrogated myself to find out my deepest thoughts. And then I just presented that to an audience because I knew what they're thinking. So it was all, when you hear me on these lives and I swear and I talk, that's how I was my supplement brand, no different. Real people, real life, real results, business owner talking real shit to people. I think I told you at the time my best ever email was protein shakes are shit.
Yeah, and you're selling protein shakes.
Yeah, and one of our best sales day that was a protein because I called people out on why they shouldn't be taking a protein shake if they don't work their ass off in the gym. So yeah,
I love it, man.
All organic.
I love it. And to go into my brand, Hemp Logica, when we launched our brand, we had $120,000 to start. We had a partner, an investor, and I had a little money too. And but 50,000 of that went to product. Our first order for product was 50 grand, and we sold out of that in a month and a half. Wow. And it took off like a rocket, even though I had no clue of how to do internet marketing or any of that. I was new to the internet marketing side of things, but I did know how to hustle. And I knew how to sell. And so sales and marketing are two different things. And so I had to learn the marketing aspects, although I had some marketing background, but nothing in the internet marketing really besides selling on eBay. And so the first 6 months were really tough figuring out the internet marketing side of things. But you have to know what you're good at. So I would go out, pack my car with product and just drive around to every store in San Diego. And I'm really good at that. So managed to get hundreds of accounts that way, and you don't need a big budget to do that, just some gas money and hustle. And so
I say a lot of time most internet marketers don't understand internet marketing, because marketing is just basically getting people to buy your stuff. So so an online business, when people go online, I say to them, what you do offline massively contributes to how you make money online. So how do you get a very personable or very natural organic Instagram? Well, you need to do offline work where people are actually using your products and communities and socializing and creating this imagery. You have to do that offline to make it online. So
that's a great point.
That's marketing. Going around and going to places like you said and hustling.
Yeah,
that's marketing. Internet marketing, doing the same activity just digitally.
And we were able to give away. We built the brand around giving away product to children with epilepsy. So for every bottle we sold, we donated to children with epilepsy. And we would have them take pictures and videos of the product and how it helped them, tell us their testimonials. And it really took off for us. And then we had a private Facebook group, CBD oil forum, and we got a lot of sales that way too. So we're going to go through all that stuff. And that allowed us, by our third month, we were at 50,000 in sales a month. And we got 3 public companies offer to buy us out because I did know branding when I launched the brand. So I had an idea of branding and getting the hype train going and targeting the right people. But let's go into the 5 layers of exposure that we put together. I'm going to share my screen here. Let's see here. All right. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, so these are the 5 layers of exposure, and so we're going to go into detail on this as well. We'll really break it down for you guys, but this is the basis of it. So when you're starting out, you're just going for organic traffic like me and Paul have been talking about. And Paul is the master at that. So we're going to go deeper into that. And then once you get the organic stabilized, then you're going to start renting audiences, like maybe working with joint ventures, people that have email lists, affiliates, things like that. Those people have massive audiences and lists. And then the third layer of exposure is building a community through media and building your tribe through maybe a group and things of that nature. 4 is authority, which could be PR, things of that nature, building a media. And then number 5 is mass media, where you're building your own media company within the brand. Like I always say, You should be a media company that happens to sell CBD. Like Paul, I think, said recently, Nike is, yeah, they're a marketing company that sells shoes, right?
Yeah, they're a marketing company that happen to sell apparel and shoes and all sorts.
Yeah. So the better content that you're able to create when you get to that number 5 level, that's going to set your brand apart from all the other bigger brands. And so let's go into detail on this. Let me share this document here. So the first layer is when you're just starting out, you haven't even hit any sales yet. You're just starting out, and so number 1 is organic stealth selling through social media. Paul, can you go through that? Because I know that's how you really built your brand.
Yeah. So whatever I'm about to say, you can apply to all social media channels. So I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it on Twitter. Now, Twitter changes, all social media changes, but it was ultimately this. So my direct competitor, even though they're the leading brand in the UK at the time, were Optimum Nutrition. They're a massive brand in the States as well, big protein brand, but in the UK, they're a big brand. Now, they effectively, their audience asked loads of questions all the time on their feed, on their Twitter feed. And Optimum Nutrition were too lazy to answer their questions. They never did. They never ever responded to them. And I would just go on there, and I used to go and read it because I said they're our competitor. The people that bought their stuff were our people, but they still talk to them like a protein brand fashion. But we talk more like real people, real life, real results, and said like, don't have steroid takers are idiots, blah, blah, blah. Just anyway, that was our stance. So we used to go on there, and I, as Paul Booth, right, used to go on there and start answering people's questions. Now, when I answered someone's question, they'll be like, who's this person talking? They'll click on my profile, and what they're going to see, they're going to see a profile banner with ISAP Sports Nutrition. They had Paul Booth's, co-founder of XX Sports Nutrition, then a link. So, and they'll see on my profile at the time, I had loads of stuff about training. So going in there and creating organic conversations, not going in there and going, buy my shit. Hey, I see you've got a problem, buy my shit. People just think you're a wanker if you do that. So
it's so annoying, and people try to do it all day long in groups, and they're just wasting their time all day. But you made a great point there too. Make sure you set up your Facebook and Instagram banners that are branded to your company, and a lot of people don't do that. Yeah,
so think of it as a customer flow. So this is something I do when I'm we do consulting as well. Me and Matt, we've got people we work together with. It's like it has to be its flow. So if someone sees you for the first time and then they're nosy about you, what do they find on your profile? Be it Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. There has to be a flow back to what you are trying to sell. So the buy my shit happens in a stealth way. You're not sending them buy my shit. They happen to find out where your stuff is, who you are, and buy it. So going back to the Twitter thing. So I would answer these questions, and then what would happen is people then would direct message me and go, hey, I saw you post about that. You said about this. But my real problem is this. So then that gives you the opportunity to go, okay, yeah, cool. On my site, I've got a great article that answers that question. So now, without even selling still, I've driven them to my site. And they've come to my site now, look, and then they can see the blog, and they can peruse the site. And so you see how it goes. So do the same on Facebook. You go into Facebook groups, be a human, start responding to questions, helping people out, and have this natural flow. If people check you out, they naturally flow back into your group, onto your website. So it's all natural. That's how I built a 7-figure supplement brand. After winning Men's Health Awards, it was all off Twitter, doing exactly what I'm talking about now. And what you find is, we'll go into more how you do it extra with the organic, but that was it.
I love it.
Talking to people. At a time, I didn't use Facebook. I spent 500 on ads on Facebook, not having a clue what I was doing. Got my account banned, so I don't know what I was doing. And I never used Facebook. We had a page that had like 70,000 likes on it, but we didn't know how to use it. We just used Twitter because it was real time. People would talk, people would tag us, and just like, it was great. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever, Snapchat, whatever it is you use, you're trying to naturally, organically connect with people by just being the same as them and answering their questions.
Yeah, that's
the overview of what that should be.
Great info there. And another thing is to start your own Facebook group or page that targets your specific audience. Like when I started Hemplogica, our CBD brand, we knew nobody cares about Hemplogica. We're a new brand. So we started a page called Natural Medicine Daily. And we started, building that up and we got lucky too. I think it was skill and luck. We went viral, and the page was getting 10 million views a week at its peak. And then we set up messenger bots on the back end to sell our CBD products. But we also had a Facebook group called CBD Oil Forum, and there was only like 1,000 members of that. But we were getting a lot of sales through those people because it was direct, one-on-one, real people talking to me and we were selling to them, but not even just educating them, and then they would want to buy. So like you're saying, it's just all about helping people and educating and making sure you have that right niche to target. That's important as well. And so just really focus on that. If you don't have the big budget, start a group that targets your niche. Like, and me and Paul keep talking about golf is
just about to say that. This is I'm going to expand on that one. So if you understand your audience and you have a niche market, this is so easy for you to do. Golf. You can start a golf group that's not even your brand name, that's there to help a specific problem that your brand's got out there. So golfers, hit it longer, hit it straighter with more consistency. Pick one of those things and create a group around all of that. Like the Power Bombers golf group, where it's all about smacking the golf ball as far as you can with a driver. Right, you create a group around that. You start making videos, right, about how you hit it further, or you start taking videos offline about how you hit it further, and have discussion about that all the time. But those videos, you put them on YouTube, and you have a YouTube channel. It's the same name as your group. Now suddenly you've got all this media and all this content and all this traffic that's going to go into your group, onto your YouTube and search, because it's specific to a golf thing. And then where do they route back to? They're going to route back to your profile or your website that sells a product that helps them hit the ball further because they're more relaxed and injury-free, aka CBD. There you go, right? So that's what Matt says. Absolutely. Groups, if you've got a niche down audience, you can build a phenomenal group. There's some people, see, some groups are massive, huge. So slightly off field, before when lockdown happened, I was helping someone in the UK build a group around doing things during lockdown. That group got to 1.5 million. Facebook group at 1.5 million people, right? And now she's monetizing it 6 months on, and she's making a lot of money.
Yeah, and then you don't have to have a huge group either. Like, look at our group, CBD Business Success. We have 8,000 people, but it's very active. Everybody's very passionate in the group, so you don't need to have like 1.5 million. You could have 5,000 or a few thousand. It could be very lucrative for you. And so just think about that when you're looking at building things up. And then also going back to the golf, like team up with other congruent brands that can run JV competitions and campaigns. Yeah. So let's say you have a golf brand, you could reach out to a golf club company or a golf bag company or whatever, just different companies that aren't competing with you that are in the same field.
Yeah, JVs can be, it doesn't have to be in golf. So when we put in a team up with congruent brands that can run JV, so it could be, if it doesn't have to be golf. For example, Bentley sell golf clubs to their people who buy Bentleys. They sell them at $16,000 for a set of golf clubs because they know that pretty much 80% of Bentley drivers play golf. So the Bentley driver wants a Bentley set of golf clubs to match his car. So they just literally upsold another 20 grand pretty much. So the JV could be with anyone. So it could be an apparel brand, a golf apparel brand. So you use their apparel brand audience, you use the little audience you've got, and together you create a bigger audience. Now, this is how YouTubers grow massive YouTube audiences. Small YouTuber, another small YouTuber, let's say you've got 1,000 subscribers each, they get together and make a video. And they share it both on their profiles. So what happens is each one goes from 1,000 to 2,000. Now they find another YouTuber that's got the same sort of audience as them. They go and do a video together about something, and then suddenly they go from 2,000 to 4,000. Yeah. So talking about golf, there's a guy called Rick Shields who does exactly this, and he's gone from can't even make it as a pro golfer, but he's an instructor. He's got a massive following now on YouTube. So he sells all sorts of stuff now. So ultimately, JVs are a great way to do it. Just connect with people that have similar audiences to you, and then you guys, go and help them.
And here's a good point too. Ensure you have a congruent audience, optimized website, and also brand as well. Like that goes along with your brand, but just making sure you're targeting your audience effectively with your brand and with your website and making it shoppable.
Yeah, I don't want to get too deep on that because I bang on about websites all the time and brand. But look at it this way. So we talked about take someone from a group, And
Oops, somebody's calling me.
yeah, so you have a group, and then or wherever it is, and they find you. They go to your personal page, right? And then they find your website. If everything about that's brilliant, they love what you're saying, they love your content, they love what your personal profile is about, and they go to your website, and it's a dog turd. You try to create yourself, and it looks shit, right? They're going to go, actually, now it's not congruent. Now, actually, I thought they had a decent brand, decent thing, but now that actually they're just a small time player. Whereas
Exactly.
you want to come there and feel, okay, cool, this guy's actually cares about his brand, or this girl. You know, these people care about their business. They care about, they've created something that looks 7 figures, but they may not be 7 figures, but I don't care. They care enough about their website. That means they care enough about their products. People's perception, you know, everyone judges a book by their cover. Anyone who says they don't, are fucking.
Exactly. Are you still there, Paul?
Sorry, yeah.
Okay. And so let's move on to layer number 2, renting audiences. When you get, you know, to that 100 to 1,000 customers, and you're at around 100K a month, or getting to that 100K a month level. So then you want, and of course, you want to keep doing the things from layer 1. So these are all going to be stacking as you go. And so working with influencers to gain new customers is huge. Like, I talked to some of the biggest brands in the industry. One brand I talked to the other day, they're doing almost $2 million a month in sales, and 95% of those sales are coming from influencers.
Can I just, influencers, people of influence, not influencers. So when you're a startup, you probably haven't got much cash. Don't worry about it. You find, they call them micro influencers. You find people with small audiences that are super influential to that audience, right? And you become their friend. You connect with them, you talk with them, you have this natural bond with them because you're doing this already from level 1, right? So you're meeting people and you say to them, hey, look, if I send you some product over, will you give me a shout out? Now, they'll be asking you more than you asking them because they'll show such an interest. So don't just give product out to people and then get arse bent when they don't promote your brand. Because, and another part of that is, right, is if your brand again looks shit and your website looks shit, just because you send product to someone, they're not going to want to share it, because then if your brand looks shit and your website looks shit, it reflects on them giving you a shout out. So they're not going to shout you out, but they'll take a free product off you.
Yeah, let me make a point about that, Paul. There's a brand called House, Haus, and they are killing it. They're not a CBD brand. They're like a drink company, and they put a lot of money into their packaging. And because of that, they got thousands of influencers without even asking, because the packaging was so cool. People just were promoting the product without even contacting them. They would buy it on their own and promote it without, you know, House having to reach out to them, because they put a lot of thought and money into their packaging.
Yeah, and what happens with that is, because the way we are built as humans, we are sheep. So once people start showing brands off, people want to start having that brand and showing it off, even though they're not being paid or being given the product, because they want to be part of the cool kids club. It's like all these like Facebook, you know, ALS challenge, the bucket challenge. Everyone started doing that, but not paying money to charity because they want to do a video to show off how cool they were putting ice on their head. So that's the natural characteristics of humans. So if you get the branding right, you get the brand right, and you get the right influencers, people will be buying a product just to go to the gym and have this product in the hand because it makes them look cool as fuck. So if you get the right influencer or a person of influence, because what happens if you focus on influencer, you'll go to these influencer sites and pay people money to chat out about you, and you go, it may be no fucking sales, because the person hasn't got your audiences of influence. So you find them yourself, and then you'll find it'll cost you nothing.
Love it, man.
I've never ever paid a penny to an influencer. They're just people that I got.
Yeah, I've never paid influencers, only just free product. That's it.
Yeah.
And working with affiliates to gain new customers is huge too. It can be risky though. A couple of my clients got sued recently because you have to police your affiliates, and it's hard. How can you police people when they're not even around you? And you have to be careful with the affiliates you bring on board, and but it can be very lucrative. One company I talked to, he handpicked the affiliates, and he had 15 affiliates that he was working with. They did 4.6 million in sales in 10 months. And so that was a CBD brand I've been working with. And so affiliates can be massive for you because these guys have been doing it forever. They got lists, they know what they're doing, they know how to generate traffic and sales. And so some of the best or some of the most successful CBD brands have affiliate marketing backgrounds.
Yeah. So talking about affiliates, just think ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is built its whole business around affiliates, pushing his business, right?
Yeah.
Affiliates are huge for the right product. So that moving on to that, ambassador programs. Now, who are the best people to shout about your business? You can only as a person yourself, but shout about your brand as much as you can. You can say it's amazing, but ultimately you need other people to shout about it. So ambassadors are perfect. They're people they're like your brand heroes. They're the ones that transcend what your brand's message and brand ethos is about. So going back to the brand I created, we were real people, real life, real results about real people, right? Not athletes. We had a fireman, a guy in the army, a tennis coach, all real people, real jobs that weren't paid to go to the gym, right? And they were cool kids as well, so they resonate with the target audience. So it's no different to you use your customers and your audience as your heroes. And then people who transcend that message, you just make them an ambassador. It's or whatever the word is for it. Brand here or whatever it could be. They're just someone that loves your brand that much that they will literally shout about it for nothing. Then you actually reward them with that by becoming an ambassador, and you just give them free product.
Yeah, and those people, the right people that have enough influence, and that's why it goes back to me to just being in the right niche with your brand, and so that those ambassadors are targeted and you're speaking to the right people. And so let's move on to setting up basic email marketing flows and campaigns. It's really important. And I remember when I had my brand, it was always something that I was like, oh yeah, I'll get to the email marketing. I'll get to that. And I had some flows set up, but I didn't have it sophisticated. So you really should pay attention. You can make email marketing is huge, like in the amount of money you can make if you set it up properly. And we have professionals that we work with too, if you need. But it's very important that you don't forget to set up your flows and campaigns for email marketing. One guy that I know, Tanner Larson, he does 50 million a year in e-com. And his email flows are 18 months long. So when you get on his email list, it's already set up for 18 months. It's insane.
Yeah. So the simple things for anyone who's brand right now is post-sale. Once someone's bought something from you, there has to be a post-sale thing. So catching up with them, find out how they get on with your product. Don't ask for reviews. That is the most dumb fuck thing to do. Anyone would had your product for 7 days. You try to get them to go to give you a Google review. Leave that. They'll do that naturally, and leave that till later on, until they bought the second time, the third time. Then they're potentially going to do it. First time they bought from you, and you're asking for a review, they think their mindset's going, well, all you want from me is to buy that product. Now you want to use me for buying your product. So just think that when someone's bought, just follow up with them and see if they're okay. And then when they chat to you, then you just because there'll be an automated part. And when you read the automated responses, if they respond, then manually go in there and talk to them like a human, like a business owner, and then offer them different products. That's the easiest one you can do. Follow up, right? And then and make it really personable. Then in the future you can do other stuff because
then you can start segmenting your emails to like certain buyers.
Retention, acquisition, acquire a customer and then retain them, and the retention comes into where your brand is and your email marketing. Just constantly connecting with them, making them feel great, giving them the content that suits them. This all goes back to the top level of all of this, understanding who your brand target audience is. If you don't understand the top level of that, all this stuff becomes difficult because then you're just sending out wishy-washy messages.
And it's not talking to anybody. Yeah. So that's a great point. And then another thing at this point, you might want to start looking into Facebook and Instagram ads, although it's a very specialized field and you really have to know what you're doing with that. But we do have information in our CBD Business Accelerator showing you exactly how to set up the ads and how to run them and all that. And we're going to be adding more and more content in that area. So or you could hire us to help you. And so you don't want to just jump into that by yourself if you don't know how to run CBD ads, because even guys that have been running Facebook ads for 10 years, they come to us and hire us because it's just a whole nother world once you get into the CBD realm of things. But like one of our best clients right now is getting a 3 times return on ad spend. So if you could put $1 in and get $3 back, wouldn't you do that? And so, but they have a very strong brand foundation and they're targeted perfectly. And so you have to have those two things. And so the next thing with that is Google AdWords, which goes in line with the Facebook and Instagram. And they're seeming to be a little more lenient these days with Google. And then, of course, like we said, continue the base skills at layer 1. And then also set up the Google My Business so you're found locally. It's incredible. Like I talk to brands, they have their Google My Business optimized, and they're getting a lot of sales locally.
Yeah, you will do. You will do with minimal effort as well, because most people haven't set up the GMB, the Google My Business. They haven't set it up. So it's just a basic foundational SEO, right? But doing that, but also we haven't put this in this level, but another way of doing this as well right now is Amazon UK and Amazon Spain. You can put CBD products on there. So just get products on there just for awareness. So people start seeing you outside of normal channels. Don't want to get too deep into that, but in the UK and Spain right now, UK is invite only, but you can still create an account. And if you've got an account in there with CBD ready to sell, they might invite you. I know a couple of clients already been invited this week to Amazon UK. Amazon ES, you can just jump straight on as long as you've got a trademark. So that's another way of adding some, because Amazon are hot on SEO, right? So you somehow naturally, so it's just awareness.
That makes sense, man. Like it helps your SEO, and then also you want to start investing in the baseline SEO. You don't have to go crazy in this layer, but start spending some money on SEO in this layer, and then of course start looking to be featured in national magazines as well. Like get that going, and even local magazines or local newspapers, things like that. Any press is good press, in my opinion. And
connect to get press. I ended up being in a men's health awards, a men's health supplement awards, and in 4 categories. Didn't pay for it. All the other big brands are paying 25, 30 grand for it because I knew someone that knew someone, and I got on really well with them. And they tried the product, loved it, and put us in a magazine. Still doing it. So people. I got in GQ the same way. We're in men's fitness the same way. So and Runners World. So if you know the right people and you get chatting to people, look, magazines. They're looking for content all the time. The guys who write content, the editors, haven't got all day to write content. They'd rather just go and find someone. So if you go out and say, "Hey, I'm from this brand. If you ever need any content on any subjects, just reach out to me. But here's a couple of bits of content. They might help you." I tell you what, people are lazy. If it's a great bit of content, they'll go, "I'll tell you what, fuck that. I'm going to put that in a magazine. It's easy."
Yeah, exactly. I never had to pay for any articles that were done on us, and we got approached by a bunch of people, and it's just about having that message that's attractive to people that they want to share. And so that's the end of layer 2. And let me go into this. We have a special offer for you guys. If you join the CBD Business Accelerator, which is cbdbusinessaccelerator.com, if you join before October 1st, because we're starting on October 1st with a 12-week incubator. So if you join the accelerator, you get access to the 12-week incubator starting October 1st. And it's going to be incredible. The incubator alone is worth over $3,000, probably more than that. Even I just put 3,000. It's probably worth $5,000 or more. So we're going to walk you through exactly how to set up a winning brand with a solid foundation with people that have actually been there and done it, like me and Paul. And we're going to help you with all the aspects of your sales, marketing, copywriting, law, compliance, and more. And you're going to be able to ask our experts questions. Me and Paul will be there, and all of our other experts like Nancy Deutsch of Sarah Labs. Nancy just sold her company for $20 million. She launched 2 years ago, and I was there when she launched. I've been a kind of a consultant to her for the last 2 years. And Nancy's a marketing genius, so she's taught me a lot too, but I taught her a lot in the CBD world, and she took it and ran with it and now got a $20 million buyout. So she's going to go over that whole process of what she did to get that buyout. It's going to be hugely valuable. Then you got Aaron Nosbish, my partner and co-founder of Symbio Consulting and the CBD Business Accelerator. He's launched a brand called Monk that he took from $0 to $20 million in sales in 3 years. He's going to show you all the steps to create a real winning direct-to-consumer CBD brand. That's Aaron's passion, man. He knows more about that than anybody I know. He's going to get into the nitty-gritty with that. And then we got the man, the myth, the legend. Paul Booth is going to be speaking as well. And he's going to talk about how to build a multi-million-dollar brand on a beer budget. And, he's going to go deeper into some of these things that we're talking about today here. And we got Marty Marion, who's the top compliance expert in the CBD industry. Marty's going to teach you everything you need to know to keep the FDA off your back, because times are changing and we got to stay on top of the compliance, because sooner than later, the FDA is going to call CBD a nutritional supplement, and you're going to need to fall under the DSHEA guidelines. And we're going to go over all that with Marty. Then we got Sean Kemp, who is one of the top copywriters in the industry. He works with multi-million-dollar supplement and CBD brands, and he is a master at getting inside the head of a customer and making them buy products. And so he's going to teach you his process of how he does that. And we also got Derek Duchesne, my new partner and founder of Healing Ventures. He's going to talk about the importance of supply chain and procurement for your brand, as well as his story of doing 80 million in sales in CBD last year. So I don't know anybody who sold that much CBD last year. So Derek is one of the most connected people in the industry. He flew 300 days last year to almost all the manufacturing companies in the CBD world. He knows supply chain more than anybody in the industry. So we also have Chase Diamond, the founder of Boundless Labs. He's the #1 email marketer in the CBD space by far. Like, he gets so much demand and accolades, and he's going to give you the tips you need to succeed with your email marketing.
Chase is smart, right? Chase is like, what he does with email is fun. It's just unreal. It
is, man. He some of his clients, when they join with him, their sales go up 30 to 40%. It's because of email marketing and the way he institutes it. And he's right on the cutting edge. And then we got Paul's partner, Tom Oxley, who's worked with some of the top Fortune 500 brands in the world. He's literally one of the top SEOs in the world. And I've met Tom a bunch of times. He blows my mind every time I talk to him. And you're going to get your mind blown on SEO. And that's a whole nother world. And he's going to give you all the tips to get your base SEO set up. And and we also have Rod Kite, who's the founder of Kite Law. He's the top CBD lawyer in the country. We're going to go over all the latest laws so you're prepared, because everything changes constantly. So, and then you also have me going over things with Paul. We're going to teach you how to get sales with a lower budget and how to sell to brick and mortar stores. I've been able to get my products into thousands of brick and mortar stores around the country. And so we'll teach you a process about that. And we'll have a few more special guests that you won't want to miss. And so this is worth its weight in gold, people. We're not going to hold anything back. We're going to show you all the tips that you need to build your brand and stay safe and compliant and market it effectively and get traffic and just win. And so if you want to join that,
oh, Matt's frozen.
1-year membership to the CBD Accelerator, where we go live once a week with experts. We have already hundreds of hours of content in the Accelerator. So as soon as you join, there's already hundreds of hours of content and courses. So this is a huge value, people. We're just trying to help you guys build amazing brands, because honestly, 95% of the brands I talk to are pretty shitty. And so we don't want that to be you, and we want to help you do it the right way. And so that's why we got this special offer. So make sure you check that out and join the Accelerator, and then we'll give you free access starting October 1st, anybody that's joined the Accelerator.
Yeah, guys, one thing I want to just, again, I'm just a guest on there, but one thing I want to make very clear is that the information you get is what's working today. It's not rehashed old shit from 5-10 years ago. A lot of people talk about, said they're marketing. This is stuff that's happening right now with CBD brands, CBD businesses, and business outside of CBD, because you can learn from different markets, different sectors. This is stuff that's happening right now and making people real money. Luckily for me and Matt and the people that guest on, we are working inside brands that are making multi-million dollars a year in this industry and outside this industry. So it's stuff that's happening right now, not old shit that people tell you and doesn't work. You know what I mean? Not software from 3 years ago that people go, oh, use this software, it's fucking great. No, it's not. It's shit. It kills your business, right? So it's stuff happening right now. I just want to add that bit in, because a lot of time people, you get rehashed webinars and shit like that. This is all fresh, out the gate. What's happening right now? What's working? And what's not working?
Yeah.
especially on the talk I'm going to give, we're going to talk a lot about what is working, but talk about what not is working. So we don't want you doing shit that's going to waste your time, lose your focus, and not get you where you want to be. I just want to add that bit in because it's important people realize that it's what works today, not what worked last week or a year ago.
100%. Yeah. And then when you join the accelerator, you get access to over 50 experts in different areas, and we have all the content. So just check out the website and then hit me up if you have any questions, people. And let's get into layer number 3, building community. So this is when you go from 1,000 to 10,000 customers, and you're hitting, this is when you get to $1 million a month, this is the rare air. So this is where you really got to execute, and it takes a special CEO and operations team. You really got to have everything humming when you get to this level. And so starting with SEO, you're starting to ramp up your SEO at this point and spending at least $5,000 a month, probably more at this point. Like I know brands that are spending $40,000-$50,000 a month on SEO.
Here's why they're spending it at this stage, guys. You can't spend this out the gate. And even if you had the budget, because the reason being is Google doesn't trust you enough. But at this point, when you've got this many customers, you've passed so many customers through your website, your content's being shared. Google goes, this is a cool as fuck website. It's trusted. It's got authority. Now I'm going to let them be in front of my audience because Google just cares about their audience, me and you. So at that point, you can then hammer the SEO, as long as you specialists understand what's going to happen if they do too much black hat stuff and don't get slapped when there's an algorithm update. So you can spend the money to then start getting more authority. Therefore, you start ranking higher. So if you are ranking for CBD gummies and you're on page 2, number 11 or something, and you want to get up to page 5, this is the time when you can start hitting it. And this is where you go from that keyword generating you 1,000 customers a month to 5,000 customers a month. So yeah, that's where the spend is at.
Gotcha. And that all takes time with the SEO. So you got to have the budgets. Like one of the top SEO guys that I work with, he has a 12-month contract. He won't even work with you unless you're willing to work with him for 12 months because it just takes time to really build an SEO campaign and do it right. And so that's something to think about in your budgets. And as you start getting sales and then ramping up Facebook and Instagram ads at this point is smart too. And we have brands, most of the brands we work with are spending between 10 and 20,000 a month on ads. And then some are even our new clients that we landed they're willing to spend up to $500,000 a month on ads. So, wow. You have different levels like that, but even if you're spending 20 grand a month, you could generate a ton of sales that way. So that's the next thing to look at in that phase. And then of course, ramping up your email drip campaigns and segmentation and making sure that's all humming along. And then you could start with text marketing campaigns, but you've been gathering phone numbers since launch. And there's very few CBD brands, e-com brands that are doing text marketing, but I think it could be very valuable as long as you don't overdo it. Like if you have a brick and mortar store, people think I'm crazy, but I say text your customers every single day if you have a brick and mortar store. But if it's just e-com, then, less frequently, but it could be very valuable. There's a brand, mysweetdreams.co, that does a good job of text marketing. Check them out.
I just want to dive a little bit here. So you're seeing big numbers here, guys. When we get to that point, it is big numbers. But don't think that I spend 20 grand on Facebook ads to get 40 grand back. Your ROI doesn't stop there. If you've set up on layer 1, layer 2 and got this email marketing system in place, right? If you say that 40 grand equates to 1,000 customers more, right? Those 1,000 customers, it's your system that says what is the lifetime value of that customer, not that one order you got from Facebook. If they order 4 more times after that, your lifetime value goes up. So your actual return on investment's 4 times what it was originally. So the numbers seem big. However, if you've got a system in place that a lifetime value is 5 orders from a customer, let's per se, which is $500 or $1,000, acquiring that customer the first time is where your focus is, because you're going to make $1,000 from each customer from the first purchase of $100 or whatever. So yeah, they look big, but ultimately this is how you scale a business, because all you're focused on is getting customers, because every customer you get, they're going to spend over a 12-month period $1,000 with you. So the numbers seem big, but the return is massive.
Exactly. So, yeah. And like you said, it's all about like the back end, setting up the email campaigns, or even like Nancy from Sarah Labs that sold the company for 20 million. She has a phone team that will call on partial orders. So if somebody doesn't finish the order, the phone team will call them and try to close them. And so different things like that, just getting people on the back end and having all that.
Yeah, cart abandonment software. So on your website, just know that whoever is a cart abandonment, then you send them an email straight away, 24 hours after or 6 hours or 1 hour.
Yeah.
We used to have 1 hour after they abandoned that order, because people abandon orders for many reasons. It could be just, the cat's just literally took a shit on the sofa. I've got to go and get the cat. They forget about it, right? So, or it might be they don't want to order. But if you bounce on them an hour later, they might go, oh, shit, I forgot about that. And if you get 20% orders back, that's 20% increase in revenue. So
exactly,
and you can do them at a base level. New website, sexy website, get a cart abandonment software stuck in there that tracks all the abandonments. So, sorry, I'm slightly off piece, but this is all part of it, your system. So when you come to 3, this machine's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, it's like the big hype machine. It's like Conor McGregor. It's got a foundation in there. Now it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This hype machine is just creating more money for you.
Exactly. And at this point, you definitely want to have your messenger bot campaigns set up, your groups. And we used to make a lot of money, and through your page, if you have a page. And we used to we were getting like 4,000 or 5,000 a month in sales, or a week actually at our peak, through messenger bots through our page, because our page was getting 10 million views a week. And so
and messenger bot seems personable, because it's directly into the inbox. Like the open rate in Messenger compared to email is massive. It's like 80% open rate in a Messenger as opposed to like 20% or whatever it is in email. So of course you are.
Yeah. Way higher open rates. Yeah. And so that's something to think about too. And then also sponsoring podcasts and radio shows that target your audience, as long as you have that right niche, because you could waste a lot of money sponsoring radio shows and podcasts and not get sales. But if you have it niched down properly, you could get a huge return on those.
So we're going back to all the time, AMP, audience message product, right? It's always important. If you understand your audience, all this stuff becomes very easy.
Yeah, exactly. And then at this point, you know, you probably in the beginning, you're doing this from the beginning, but you really want to ramp up with local retailers. And the way we would do it, we would set up a booth in their store, or in San Diego, we're lucky enough to have great weather and the laws are cool. So we would set up our trade show booth right in front of the store on the sidewalk that was allowed by the city, with 50,000 cars a day driving by, and we were giving out free samples. So it was great. We'd get tons of sales and getting into accounts that way, because we would tell the accounts, hey, we'll come and give away free samples, and we'll send beautiful women, you know, models to do that as well, and me. And so that's another way of enticing those store owners to bring your products. The more samples you have, the more accounts you're going to get, period. That's how it works. And so that's something to think about. And then hiring a phone team, like I was saying, to help with the partials and outbound sales, and definitely trade shows once COVID allows. That's how we got a ton of our sales. We would get at least 20 to 30 accounts at every trade show we would do. And that really starts to pick up for you. So, and then, you know, brick and mortar distribution, like we were saying, you just want to keep ramping that up and get salespeople on board. And then keep, like we said, all these layers stacked. So you want to keep doing what you've been doing in layer 1 and 2. And so now let's go on to layer 4 here, authority. So this is when you're really booming. You're hit 10,000 to 100,000 customers. You got your subscriptions going. You got maybe 5,000, 10,000 people on subscription. At that point, you definitely want a full-time PR firm, like just getting you as much PR as you can for the brand. When I was in the music business, I was like 19 years old, and we hired a PR firm at $3,000 a month. This was like, I don't know, it was a long time ago in the 90s. And it was a lot of money to us. But that PR firm got our name out there, and people started listening to our music, and then it blew up. Like, we took off. It was crazy. Without the PR firm, we would have never done what we did. And it's very valuable. So that's another thing. And send out direct mail if that fits your target audience, and expand your Facebook ads to at least 50 to 100,000 a month at that point, probably more than that even. And then
so guys, at this point, what's going to happen? Your brand's going to be so big, people are going to be contacting you to want to be an influencer. So all this work's done. This is stuff we're telling you do. But at this point, your brand's going to be such a size that people are going to be reaching out to you. How can we work with you? How can I promote you? So these are all things that are powerful. Again, set up from the start right. This stuff then just becomes natural, right? It just grows and grows and scales. It's the foundations. You've got to have the foundations in place. If you don't have the foundation in place, none of this will happen. It'll just crumble. It won't even start.
Yeah, it's from day one. You got to just keep building on the foundation and reinvest the profit percentage of profit into SEO. And at that point, you want to get up to 25 to 50 grand a month in SEO, and then hire a CEO and a COO probably at that point. And or you could be the CEO if you're that type of person. But usually, you want to get an operations person full time, just managing the day-to-day operations, and maybe even in layer 3. You want to do that. Depends on where your budget is, because you want somebody really good, like, that can effectively help you run the day-to-day operations of the business and automate. And automation is key. Like one of our consultants, Calvin Truong, he has a brand called Iconic Paw. He does very well. I don't want to say his sales, but he does really well. He's got 50 employees, and he works 3 to 4 hours a week because he's automated himself out of the business, but he just has to oversee it now. And that's his company. So like, you got to be working smart and not harder. And then starting a podcast, targeting your audience could be huge, especially if you have the right kind of niche audience, or, audience that will be looking into what you have to say. And it takes time with a podcast. So, and be persistent and be consistent. Like, upload at the same exact time every week, or whenever, if you do it twice a week, upload the podcast the same exact time. I heard that YouTube and iTunes like that. The algorithm likes that if you do it consistently at the same time. And expand your influencer and affiliate programs big time at that point. And then you're going after major brick and mortar distribution, either in this layer or in layer 3, where, you're going after Costco, Wegmans, and, all the big TJ Maxx even sells CBD now. So, and my clients are in these stores that I'm naming. And so these are companies that are doing 2-3 million a month in sales. And so that's layer 4. And then layer 5 is mass media. This is when you're maintaining and improving all the processes that we talked about previously. Double down on your PR, maybe hire 2 PR firms, and start a media company. Like we said from the beginning, you want to be a real media company that sells CBD. And so, and high level sponsorships like NASCAR. Like if you put your brand on a NASCAR, that's like $150,000 to do that. So, or sponsoring like the Spartan events or whatever fits your brand. Like if it's the right type of sponsorship, it could be worth it for brand recognition at this point when you're doing over 100,000 customers. You're making millions a month at that point. So it's worth the investment. What do you think about that, Paul?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Like I always say, it's the key to everything is the foundations. It's starting at layer 1 and working your way up. And until you've nailed layer 1, then don't go to layer 2. Because layer 1 has to be the foundation to growth. But it all goes back to this: if you don't understand your audience and you don't please your audience visually on your website, your brand, your communication, you're never going to get to layer 2. So, and I mean this with the most love to everyone in the CBD space. If you've got another Me Too brand that's not targeting anybody, you're not going to go to the next stage, because no one's going to give a shit about your product, your brand. And I know 99% of you got a massive passion for helping people and building a business online. But if you don't do the foundational work of understanding the audience, targeting them, speaking to them, understanding who they are, and having a website that they come to and love, and finding more information, and you create content, you're not going to get to layer 2. So it starts with the foundations, and this is the baseline for growing. There's so much you can do for nothing without paying any money. This we just showed you. There's so much you can do to build a 7-figure business without spending money.
100%.
Just by using yourself and your passion.
Exactly. So make sure you pick a niche that you're passionate about, that you don't mind talking about all the time. And it can't just be CBD. It has to be bigger than that. CBD is just an ingredient and part of what you're selling. And so you have to have that niche and that foundation. And like I was saying before, if you join the CBD Business Accelerator before October 1st, then you're going to get access to the 12-week business incubator, where we're going to go deeper into all the things that we were just talking about, as well as compliance and law. And like Paul said, these are all the latest tips that are going to help you create a winning brand. And I talk to about, I would say, 15 to 20 CBD brands a week. And at least half of those, I have to tell them, in my opinion, you need to redo everything from scratch. And this is like after they spent $50,000, $100,000. And I hate having to say that. So we're going to teach you how to build your brand foundation from scratch, so you don't have to redo anything and make any mistakes. And so this is highly worth it. Check out www.cbdbusinessaccelerator.com, and you'll see what you get in the accelerator as well. So not only are you getting the 12-week incubator, you're getting a year-long membership to the CBD Business Accelerator. So yeah, it's a no-brainer, people. You should definitely, if you're serious about building your brand, this is something you definitely want to do. We don't usually do things like this because I'm really busy consulting, and so is Paul. And so this is something special that we're not going to be doing often. So remember, you got to join before October 1st. And so that's what I got on that. And you go back here. So let's see here. We got some comments from people. Thanks for having this great discussion. Don't make any claims that violate FDA. Yeah, that's for sure. What's the best web design for CBD? One page or a store with a catalog? It depends on what you're trying to do, but mostly it's a one page if you're running ads, maybe, but you definitely want a true website with a catalog for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a website. One page is when you're building a website and you're trying to get traffic, what you want to do is, this is why I create search funnels. It's because there's this confusion. A one-page click funnel, whatever this funnel builder shit is never ever going to be indexed in Google. That means Google, people search for you, they're never going to find you, right? Or find you based on a keyword. So you want to build a website because we're used to going to a website and looking at a homepage that talks to us about what the brand's about, going to about page that tells us a story about the brand, going to the product pages and find out more information. We go to the blog article areas to get more content. We're used to doing that. So don't take people down this one-page sales page because people then feel naturally like you're trying to squeeze money out of them.
Yeah.
Right? Do it naturally. You do all your selling off the site, and when they come to the site, it just expands that message. It's a place where they come and you build trust. So your brand has to target a specific niche, and when they come to your website, it's just congruent with the message they've seen, and it tells them more information about why you're so fucking awesome, and then they end up buying your product. That's conversion optimization, right? Do not build one pages. They do nothing for your brand. Maybe build these external when you try and do Facebook ads or whatever it is. But ultimately, your base, right, from where you build from, is a website.
Yep. And the perfect place to find that, people, is searchfunnels.com, which is Paul's company, and they build amazing, beautiful websites. So check out searchfunnels.com if you're looking to build out a website. And somebody asked here, what's the price for the CBD Business Accelerator before the 1st of October? So right now, because anybody that's joining is getting the 12-week incubator, you can only join for 1 year. It's $997, or you can join for a lifetime, which is $1,997. But remember, you're getting 1 year access to the accelerator, and you're getting the 12-week incubator, which is worth well over $3,000. And you're going to be able to ask questions of all those experts as we do the incubator. And so, yeah, it's going to be great. And we're really going to go deep into exactly the tips and steps that you need. I don't like fluff, people. So I like when people tell me what to do. Like me and Paul are not about fluff. And so we're going to tell you exactly what to do. And yeah, Joe Crow asked, is there a way to get a copy of the Layers of Exposure? Yeah, we'll put a link. I'll post it into the comments here, and then I'll send it to you, Joe, and anybody else. Just hit me up for it, and I'll send it over. And somebody commented, thanks for doing what you do, guys. You have good energy and passion for the business. Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. I can't stand people getting scammed. It fucking frustrates the shit out of me. So that's why I have no incentive for you to buy any shit from me when we talk. And nor does Matt. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is help you guys. And yes, we do make money from it. That's obviously common sense, but ultimately it comes from a place of passion. I see too many people getting sucked down the same bullshit line, get robbed from loads of money because they're told they're going to make 7 figures in 12 months. The reality is, if that was the case, we'd all be millionaires driving around in Lambos, and no one would have to worry, right? But that's not the reality. You have to work hard. You have to set up your business right from the start, and yeah, you just got to do it right, and just use your common sense when you know someone's trying to hoodwink you into releasing money for something that seems too good to be true. So we just give you no fluff. But I think you can probably tell now. Me and Matt don't give you any information that's not relevant. It's information that you can action today, and if it's not information you can action and make money from, there's no point talking about it.
Exactly. Yeah, so definitely people take a look at cbdbusinessaccelerator.com. Like I said, we only have the 1 year or lifetime membership right now because of the fact that when you join right now before October 1st, you're getting access to the 12-week incubator that we're starting on October 1st. And feel free to reach out to me or Paul if you have any questions about anything that we've talked about today. We're happy to help you guys out. And we love what we do, man. And it's a pleasure working with you guys out there and working with the brands. And so feel free to reach out to us anytime. And Paul, do you have any last words?
Audience, message, product. If you want to win as a brand, you have to understand your audience, connect a message between them and you, and your product is just the carrier of the message. It could be CBD, it could be bananas, it could be bloody anything. It doesn't matter, because once you've got an audience and a message, your product is just a carrier of that message. Like Nike. Nike's all about motivation. They just happen to sell sports gear on that motivation, right? And at a community. So audience, message, product. Nail that. Look sexy, not just you, your brands, right? So people love them, and then you'll start generating money. If you look shit and you've got no message, you're going to struggle to make sales. And that's just straight up honesty. Because if you're on these lives, you know that. You know your brand looks shit. You know your message is weak and you've got no target audience and you're not making sales. So it's not a new Facebook course. It's not a new email marketing campaign. It's not new sexing. It's about understanding your target audience. Nail that, nail business. Simple.
100%. Can't say it any better than that, Paul. So we'll leave it at that. And like I said, reach out to me or Paul if you have any questions, and join the accelerator before October 1st. And we'll see you on the 12-week incubator. And thanks again, Paul, for your time. And let's talk again soon, people.
Yeah, man. Pleasure. Be safe, everybody.